So you are welcome to today's revision class. And as you are all aware, you will be taking your paper tomorrow. And I expect or I hope that you do well tomorrow. And as you are here right now, it shouldn't be the case that if they give you the paper today, you should not be able to, you should be able to write. You shouldn't be able to write anything. You should be able to at least do something. If you have been given a paper like this, you have a question like this, and you are unable to deduce where the question is coming from or know where you get your answer, then it means that you are going to be having a problem. So once you've read the question, you should be able to know the area where the question is coming from. Then you'll be able to know where you'll be picking your answer. Now, all we are here to do today is to do revision and to go through whatever you have been learning so far, and also to give you sample questions that you should be expecting in your exams. And notwithstanding that, I'm just here to help you. Now, one thing students fail to know that, or students fail to take note of, is what we call the marking scheme. Now, at the end of the day, the examiner is expecting something from you. And if you are unable to provide that thing, you are not going to score the mark. Now, for example, if you have this famous question, the debates between accountants and economists, what constitutes income, or what constitutes the concept of income? Now, this is the question. This is just the question. So they give you a very long question that there has been a long debate between the economists and the accountants with regards to what actually constitutes income of an enterprise. Clearly identify these debates as generated by these professionals and show the extent to which you agree with them. So you have a question like this, and you don't know that this particular question falls under the concept of accounting income, then straight away, you are not going to be in the position to answer the question very well. Now, if you take a question like this, what the examiner is expecting from you, number one, is that he said the candidates understanding these debates and drawing appropriate conclusion on this school of thought would a maximum, or will earn him or her a maximum mark. So your understanding on this debate is key, but that is not just the end. You are supposed to draw appropriate conclusions on this school of thought. How did the accountant see income? And how did the economist also see income? Or what does the accountant call income? And what does the economist also call income? We will come to that and we will answer the questions and then you understand very well. But I basically wanted you to know that any question that you see, any question that you have been given, you have a marking scheme accompanying that question. And so therefore, you should be mindful that the examiner is expecting something from you. Now, when we take another question. The question on accounting standards. And this question also asks you that accounting standards are the bedrock of accounting treatment, and they are being constantly reviewed to reflect the current macroeconomic trends. In order to reflect the true state of affairs of the firm, to what extent do you agree to the above assertion as described by the Accounting Principles Board? So, if you don't know that the examiner is expecting you to say something, or if you are not mindful of what the examiner is expecting from you, then you'll be answering the question and you'll be deviating. This is a typical question for your predecessors, that is 2015-16 predecessors. Now, the candidate understanding of the reasons for the establishment of accounting will earn a maximum mark. So, if you are unable to say things in line with this very short statement over here, they are not going to earn the maximum marks. So that is basically what I also wanted you to take note of. And then the famous one, accounting as a discipline has been viewed by many schools of thought as having different perception and understanding, clearly indicates the various perceptions of accounting as perceived by the various schools of thought. This is the question, and this is what the examiner wants from you. He said what? Candidate knowledge in the manner in which various people view and understand accounting will earn a maximum in this respect. So it is not you and Paul that they want. All they want is your understanding on the question. Your understanding on the question. Now, let's move on. Let me look at another one. So this one too is on international accounting. Let me see if I can see that particular question for you. And then you see what the examiner is requiring you to do on the gaps. No. It's not there. I've not seen it. So you, when I see it, I will just let you know. Now, there is another question too. They said the diversity of judgment in international accounting context may be examined by reference to the following: cognitive relativism, cultural relativism, linguistic relativism, on and on and on and on. Now, such a question, what does the examiner want from you? Candidate understanding of the judgment diversity of accounting in the international arena will earn a maximum mark. So this is all what the examiner wants from you. And once you're able to nail it over there, you earn the maximum marks. So basically, this is how the examiner wants you to answer questions, or this is how you are supposed to be answering questions when it comes to such an area. And that notwithstanding, I would like us to quickly move and start looking at the questions. Now, I have 3 different questions here that I will walk you through. And because we are time bound, we cannot walk through everything at a go. So I will advise that you take notes concerning the areas where the answers are, so that based on my explanation, you'll be able to answer the question very well. Now, I have this question. I have this question. I'll start with this question. Now, listen to the first question. So if you have the past question, you can open to it. If you have the past question, you can open to the question that you see this one, accounting as a discipline. Let me see if I can see it for you. And I'll just show you the year in which it is. Now, if you have the 2016-15, this question is the question 1 over there. So, in fact, it's there. That's the question, the 2015-16 question. So, yes, that's the 2015-16. So, if you have your past question, you can open to the 2015-16 part-time paper. And you are there. Now, they said accounting as a discipline has been viewed by many schools of thoughts. And please, if you don't understand anything, you raise up your hand and then I'll call you. Please, there are 2 people here who have not named, I don't know them. One is user's iPhone and one is 8413661486. This class is a highly restricted class, and so therefore, if you don't rename yourself for me to know you, I'll remove you by myself in the next 5 minutes. The one who is having user's iPhone, that is not a name. I know Delphina Kwesin, I know Messi, I know Nick, I know Samuel Muriku, but these 2, I don't know them. So you better rename yourself for me to know you and identify you, or else I take you out. Now, let's continue. Accounting as a discipline has been viewed by many schools of thoughts as having different perception and understanding. Clearly indicates the various perceptions of accounting as perceived by the various school of thoughts. Now, if you read this question and you don't know that the various school of thought has perceived accounting as an ideology, they have perceived accounting as an economic income, they have perceived accounting as a language, you don't know those ones, you will not be able to answer the question. Now, let's look at what you are required to do. From my solutions over here, candidates should be able to identify the thoughts of the various schools about accounting as a discipline for reporting the state of affairs of a company. So you are supposed to identify the thoughts. 1, as a discipline for reporting. Reporting what? The state of affairs of a company. So you are not just explaining it just like true and poor. There should be a linkage between the ideology you are explaining in line with corporate reporting. That is basically what you are doing. So when you take accounting as an ideological principle or as an ideological discipline, they said this means that accounting has therefore been perceived or seen as an ideological discipline. That is, as a means of sustaining and legitimizing the current social, economic, and political order. This allows that accounting has been evolved around certain beliefs, rules, and regulations which regulate the practice of accounting. When you look at our earlier illustration or in our first question and answers section, I told you that when we talk about accounting as an ideology, we are basically saying that accounting follows ideas. It follows people's idea. So pardon me, those two people, I don't know them, so I just take them off from the page. Now, accounting follows, or this school of thought, they see accounting as we following somebody's what? Ideas. That is what they believe in. When you say debit the receiver, credit the giver, it is somebody's ideas you are following. You don't know who said debit the receiver, credit the giver. It is an idea we are all following. So these people see accounting as following ideas in terms of what? Corporate reporting, or in terms of accounting practicing. When we go on to the next one, accounting as a business language. Why are they saying accounting is seen as a business language? Because we said that it communicates business terminologies. All the terms and all the grammar we use in accounting are business related. You will not see any terminology in accounting relating to church. You will not see any terminology in accounting relating to the hospital. All the terminologies we use in accounting are business related. And so therefore, these people say that accounting is seen as a business language. Why are they saying that? They say as a language of business, accounting has many things in common with other languages. The various business activities of a firm are reported in accounting statements using terminologies or language in accounting, just as news events are reported in newspapers in the English language. This is the argument they have stated. Now, accounting as a historical record. I told you that accounting as a historical record means that we said accounting only records history. Everything in accounting is history. Accounting is history. That is how they see accounting. They say that everything in accounting is history. Without history, you are not going to see accounting. And so therefore, they also perceive accounting as giving a historical record of transactions or of antecedent that happened. I get it. That is basically what they see accounting to be. They say that accounting is history because it gives historical record of transactions. That's all. And without history, you are not going to see accounting. So let's look at what your scheme is talking about over here. They said, generally, accounting is perceived or viewed as a means of providing a history of an organization and its transactions with its environment. For either the owner or the shareholders of a company, accounting records provide a history of the manager's stewardship of owners' resources. Simple and short. The next school of thought also says accounting as an economic current reality, or accounting as a current economic reality. And what did we say? These people use this to buttress their points because they are saying that accounting information that we bring out, that is the financial statement that we always bring out, always projects the economic reality of the environment. Whenever you bring out your profit statement, it shows what is happening in the economy at a point in time. Whenever you bring your balance sheet, it shows what is happening in an economy at a point in time. And so therefore, if that is what, or that is the end product of every accounting information, or the end product of every accounting information is the trading profit and loss, the balance sheet, the cash flow, which all these statements are reporting what is on the ground. Like this year, COVID-19 is worrying us. So at the end of the year, you should see most of the companies reporting based on the impact of COVID-19 on their businesses. So they are reporting what is prevailing at that particular point in time. And that is what these people use to buttress their point. They said the central thing here is that both balance sheet and income statement should be based on the valuation basis. That is more or less reflective of what is currently going on in the economy, rather than historical costs. The rationale is that accounting is the determinant of true income concept that reflects the change in the wealth of firm over a period of time. This is what they also use to buttress their point. Please, if you don't understand anything and you want to ask a question, you go to the down part of your screen, you see where you see participants, you click there, then on the right side of your name will be the very first thing there. On the right side, there's a 3 dots, you click on it, then you see the hand to raise up, then you click on it, it will raise hand, I'll see you here, I'll unmute you, and then I'll call you. Now, accounting as an information system. Why are these people also buttressing their points? Or why are they also saying that accounting is seen as an information system? Because they said there is an input-output process approach, or there is a process of input process output approach, where we collect the information. There is a system that processes the information, and there is a system that brings out the information to its users. In a nutshell, there is an encoding and decoding system in accounting. So when you talk about the information flow in MIS, in Management Information System, you have the data collection that forms part of the input. You have the data processing and classification, and then you have the data communication that forms part of the output. And so therefore, you have the sender and the receiver. And once there's a sender and there's a receiver, we have a communication system. And so therefore, it is assumed to be a process that links an information source or transmitter, usually the accountants, who is the sender, a channel of communication, and a set of receivers. Who are the set of receivers here? The external users. Basically, when considered a process of communication, accounting can be best be defined as the process of encoding observation in the language of the accounting system and manipulation of signs and the statement of the system and decoding and transmitting results. In fact, if you go to the exam hall tomorrow and you see a question like this, and this statement I've highlighted here, you cannot put it in this one here. Consider yourself that particular one, you fail it, you are not going to get it. If you are explaining the information system and you are unable to tell us that there is an input-output approach, there is a sender, there is a receiver, There is a process of encoding and there is a process of decoding. It means that your MIS is shaking from level 200. It means that your understanding in information system is weak, and so therefore you are not going to score the mark for that. Then accounting as a commodity. Why would they also say that accounting is perceived as a commodity? Once we are talking about commodity, economy should come into your mind here. Economists, that once there is demand, there will be supply. And who is the supplier here? The accountant. The demand is forming part of the external users. This view results from an economic activity. It exists because formalized and specialized information is in demand, and accountants are willing and capable of producing such information. Accounting is not only evaluated based on its usefulness, but also in terms of cost-benefit analysis. So this is basically what you are supposed to do. If you have any question, you ask me. If you don't have any question, we'll move on to the next question. I have set up my Zoom account so that it can take us for the whole night, but I don't know why that one is not joining. So this particular one will be disconnecting. When it disconnects, kindly rejoin quick so that you can have a fair idea of the question, or we can follow quickly. Okay. Now, look at the next question. Why is it that accounting is sometimes regarded as an art or science? Why is it that accounting is regarded as an art or science? Now, that particular question, accounting as an art or science, the candidate should demonstrate the knowledge of accounting as an art or science, full stop. This is what you are expected to do. The candidate should demonstrate the knowledge of accounting as an art or science. And I have extensively explained this one in our earlier video. So if you have not watched the first video on YouTube, I would like you to also go and look at that one. Now, there are two schools of thought over here. One school of thought is saying that accounting is an art. One school of thought is saying that accounting is a science. Now, as a judge, these people are debating and they have all laid down their argument for you. Now, those who argued that accounting is an art says that because accounting is full of business language, accounting is seen as a language. Accounting is full of terminology that is linked to businesses and things and so on and so forth. Accounting follows principles and golden rules and things. It follows procedures. You must be taught. It is like an apprenticeship. You must be taught the traits of the profession before you can understand and practice. So these people argue that you need certain skills, and those skills must be taught. Just like an apprentice, you need the skills, and you must be taught the skills so that you can execute the mandate on the job. So because of that, accounting is a science. It's an art. It must be taught before you can perform. Those who also argued that accounting is a science, says that when you are saying accounting is following somebody's idea, it's an ideological profession. They said debit the receiver, credit the giver. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. You must make provision for losses and other things and things, co-meanings. These things are written down just like science. When we say an experiment to test the chlorophyll in the leaf of a plant, they say you need a beaker, you need a cylinder, you need the hot water, you need the salt, you need the fire, you need the this. You have never been a scientist before. But when you see those apparatus and everything, you can perform that test and arrive at a conclusion that is the leaf having starch or chlorophyll inside. So if these are procedures we are following, and you say the people are also following law, it's not that they are also making their laws and they are following. The laws has been there for them and they are following. And the procedures are there for them and they are following. Then at the end of the day, accounting is a science because they follow procedures. That is basically what these people argued. Now, putting these two together, or putting these two arguments together, we don't say accounting is an art. We don't say accounting is a science. We say accounting is a social science. Why are we saying accounting is a social science? Number one, because it interacts with the society. It has an impact with the society on the society, and the society also has an impact on accounting. And so therefore, accounting is a social science. So ladies and gentlemen, when you go and you are answering it, don't forget to end that accounting is a social science. After you have buttressed your point for an act, you have buttressed your point for a science, you end up by saying that accounting is therefore a social science, since it interacts with the society, and the effect of accounting, or if accounting will have an effect on the society equally also have an effect on accounting. So therefore, it is a social science. When you look at snapshot my solutions, handwritten solutions, and posted on the page before. So when you look at them, you will be able to answer it very well. So those that I already have the solutions there with you, I'll not worry you too much so that you can move very, very fast. Now, the next question. But our time is left with 2 minutes to disconnect. So what I'll do is that take note of this question and start looking at the solution. I'll disconnect and reconnect at exactly 11 o'clock so that we can continue. So yeah, Nick, your hand is up. So let's use that 1 minute to address your issue for you. So Nick, unmute yourself. I've not muted you. Unmute yourself and talk.
Emma, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm asking that, or I want to know, in regards to the images of the school of thought.
Yes, please.
The images, I think we have about 6 of them. And here are the things you are to answer question A and B, which is, that question is sum up to 25 marks. Do you need to state all the 6 points, or maybe 5 or 4 will do?
5 will do. The marks allocated to that question is 15 marks.
Oh, okay. Okay.
When you state 5, at least you are scoring 3 marks each.
Okay.
And then the argument for science and the other one is 10 marks. Are you getting it?
Okay. Okay.
So you state at least 5.
5. Okay.
If you think you can state all, please state all and explain. You don't know which of them you are going to have a very nice explanation for and to catch the lecturer's heart. Are you getting it? Yes. So once you have not been given a quota, state a minimum of 5.
Okay.
All right. So disconnect and connect back at 11 to continue the other question.